Good evening, baseball fans. The hot stove is officially underway. Can you smell the hot stove cooking? Lucas Giolito is on the move, heading to the Angels. I literally just suggested this idea like an hour ago. My goodness, I don't know what the heck is going on. Let's get to it. And good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? Man, we got like 500 people in this chat right now. What the heck? What time is it? It's almost 12:30 here on the East Coast. It's past my bedtime, but the hot stove is on. We got to talk all the news. Lucas Giolito heading to the Angels. My goodness. I mean, what the heck is going on tonight? I'm watching my Red Sox. They took a 2-game sweep from the Braves. I'm happy. Everything is good. The Red Sox are on fire. You can't stop the Sox. And all of a sudden, let me just tell you about my night, all right? I'm watching the Red Sox Braves. That was great. As I'm watching the Red Sox Braves, I'm doing a video reacting to different Shohei Ohtani trades that Fox Sports suggested. As I'm like right in the middle of this video, I'm recording it and everything. I'm like probably 75% done at this point, and I get a tweet saying that the Angels are hanging on to Ohtani. So I'm like, well, I can't do this video anymore. This is dumb. If I post this video, then everyone's going to be like, oh, well, they're not trading Ohtani. So I basically just stopped doing that video. I was like, well, I just wasted my entire night. So I'm hanging out. I'm happy about my Red Sox. And all of a sudden, here we go. Lucas Giolito going to the Angels. And, well, actually, no. Before that, I did a video reacting to Ohtani not being traded by the Angels. And in that video, I suggested that the Angels, after reading the report that they were going to be going for some starting pitching and some bullpen help, I suggested in the video that they should go after Lucas Giolito. And here we are. They're trading for Lucas Giolito. I don't know. Was Artie Moreno watching the video that I just posted and said, hey, all right, Robbie just said to go get Giolito. Go trade for Giolito. Did that happen? That happened. I'm not even kidding. It was like literally 20 minutes after I posted the video, the news broke. I don't know what is going on right now. My mind is just scrambled. So that's my night. How's your night going? It is late. It is past my bedtime. We got almost 600 people in this chat, and we got a super chat already from the Dodgers. Hello, $4.99 super chat. How you doing? Love my Dodgers making the move for Ahmed, and we also had the Ahmed Rosario Noah Syndergaard trade. I actually think that's pretty decent for both sides. You know, I feel like both are not really doing well with their teams. Change the scenery for both. They could actually the other teams can maybe get more out of those players. Maybe the Guardians can get more out of Noah Syndergaard. Maybe the Dodgers can get more out of Ahmed Rosario. You know, why not? I mean, to me, it was kind of just like a harmless move. Ahmed Rosario is going to be a free agent anyway. The Guardians got young prospects coming up. You got Arias there. You got Freeman there. I mean, there's really no point hanging on to Rosario, and you might as well go get a veteran guy and, you know, Noah Syndergaard for some pitching depth. I mean, why not? I didn't see the harm in it. So that was the first move of the night. And then the Red Sox, they added a reliever. And here we go. Lucas Giolito. We're going to break this trade down. If you are joining us, I'm going to dive into it on baseball trade values. We'll break it down. What a night for the Angels right now. Holy cow. Like, all of a sudden, everything is feeling really good with the Angels right now. My goodness. Hans Isdell is in the chat. How you doing? What's next for our Sox? Yellow jerseys in October. I'm just saying, man. what are they now? 21-4 with the yellow jerseys. I think you got to keep playing with the yellow jerseys. I don't think you should put these jerseys away. I mean, I'm just saying, they're really good. James Hirota is here. I knew you'd be here, my friend. I was waiting for you to pop up. How you doing, my friend? Hans, thank you for the super chat, my friend. James, $4.99. Worth noting, Cuero is blocked by Ohapi. I'm going to get to that in just a second. In the long term, it is not performing, so his value probably won't be higher than it is now. Bush, similar. So, yeah, I'm going to dive into the values and everything. It looks like a major overpay as of right now. Remember, I love baseballtradevalues.com, but it is not the end all be all when it comes to just how how trades or how you look at them. I think it's an amazing resource, but it's not going to get it right all the time with the numbers. You're going to have different philosophies from different teams, different motivations at different times, so it's not going to be the perfect system. It is the best system out there in terms of bridging the gap to understanding how trades are done, but it's not going to be the perfect system every single time. People need to realize that. So let's get to it here, everyone. Everyone, real quick, just letting you know before we get started, we are partners now with Underdog Fantasy. Go use my code HIDE signing up, and you get a double deposit on your first deposit. So if you deposit $10, you'll have a $20 deposit total. So we are new partners now with Underdog Fantasy. I actually just played yesterday, and I actually won myself a couple of bucks. But make sure you play responsibly. They got daily drafts. They got pick'ems where you can go over-unders. Go check it out. I actually really like Underdog Fantasy, a really solid way to play daily fantasy sports and try and win yourself a couple of bucks. Everyone, go check it out. The description, the link is in the description. It is pretty fun. Go check it out. Also, everyone, we are partners here with SeatGeek. Go use my code HIDE. You get $20 off on your first purchase. And we are sponsored here by BetOnline. Use the code BELIEVE. You get a 50% welcome bonus. A great way to also go play some fantasy sports as well. So let's get to it here, everyone. Let's dive into it. So we got the music ready. We're good to go. So here we go. Here's the news. So the Angels obviously acquiring Lucas Giolito, and they also got Reynaldo Lopez in this deal as well. It's pretty funny because we were just seeing a report earlier on from Tom Verducci of Sports Illustrated saying here the Angels take Shohei Ohtani off the trade market, intend to make a postseason push. So if you go look at the standings as of right now, the Angels are 7-3 in their last 10. They're 4 out of a wild card spot. Mike Trout should probably be back in the next month, so we'll see how that goes. But when you're thinking of the Angels here, there's still obviously a lot of talent on this team. You still got Ohtani here, obviously. So this team is definitely capable of competing for a wild card spot, but they were wanting to add, the Angels were wanting to add a starting pitcher as well as a reliever, and they just did it. So look at that. They just killed 2 birds with 1 stone in this deal. So, Patman0074, how you doing? Where should my pods send Snell and Hader? Could they package them with a prospect for Kierstad? Thanks, Robbie. Oof. Could you imagine them getting Kierstad? That'd be a really good acquisition for the Padres. I would imagine the Padres are probably going to separate them in a trade if they do end up being sellers at the deadline. I would think, that sounds nice to package them. But if you want to maximize the return, you probably got to separate them because they're both just really good. So to me, if you're packaging them, maybe a team could, give you a really good return, but I would imagine usually you end up separating really good pieces like that. Maybe on paper you could get something to work. In reality, I don't see that happening, honestly. I would love for Blake Snell to go to the Orioles. I think they need a guy at the top of that rotation. I think that would be perfect for them. And a guy with postseason experience. He's pitched in the AL East before. And then Hader, honestly, I was in the video that I just posted, like an hour ago, I suggested Josh Hader for the Angels. I think that would be a great fit. We'll just have to wait and see if the Padres do end up selling. For Hader, I think a team like the Braves could make some sense. If you want to make a really good bullpen even better, hey, Hader would be awesome. I mean, honestly, any contending team would love to add Josh Hader. A lot of teams would like to add starting pitching. Like the Reds, if they wanted to add some starting pitching, I think Blake Snell could be really good. But taking a look here at the trades. So again, we just got the report earlier that the Angels are not trading Shohei Ohtani. That was all the talk of the town. And this was, we always love to see the juicy trade rumors. We always love to see, where's this guy going? Where's that guy going? But this is Shohei Ohtani that we were talking about here. And so, and for me personally, I love the trade rumors. So when he gets taken off the market, I was a little bummed out, to be honest with you. I was like, oh, man. I was dreaming of the live stream where Ohtani gets traded and we get like 3,000 people in here and everyone's going crazy. Oh, that would have been so fun. But hey, Angels fans, you're happy about this. Taking a look at the trade. So this is a major overpay. Huge overpay. Maybe not as much as you might think because Cuero is underperforming a little bit this year. But let's take a look at Lucas Giolito first. So in the video that I posted about an hour ago, I explained why Lucas Giolito would be a great fit for the Angels. But taking a look at the numbers, a 3.79 ERA, that's pretty solid. The FIP is a 4.46. I don't like that as much. The White Sox haven't been playing amazing defense this year. So, I think being on the Angels, they got a much better outfield defense, and Lucas Giolito is more of a fly ball pitcher. So I think that really works out for Giolito and the Angels. The strikeout to walk ratio is still really good, right around the same as last year. The walks are down a little bit. The home runs are up a smidge. But I think with Giolito, I think that's going to be okay because, like I said, the Angels, they have a really good outfield defense. They are 5th overall in outs above average when it comes to their outfield. So I think this just plays really well together, and that's what I just said in my video like an hour ago. So in the end, I think this is a fantastic addition. Let's see if Fangraphs has updated this. I would imagine they have. They're usually pretty quick at this. Yeah, there you go. So Lucas Giolito now. So they got a lot of starting pitching, man. They got a lot of depth. They should not have to worry about pitching depth down the stretch. And then you added Reynaldo Lopez here. They got a lot of pitching right now. This is crazy. But if you go into the postseason, you're looking at Shohei Ohtani for game 1. You're probably looking at Lucas Giolito for a game 2. And then you could go Sandoval for 3, Detmers for 3. You got a lot of different options here. So pitching depth is not a problem here for the LA Angels. Absolutely not. And Reynaldo Lopez, I think this is a really nice addition for the bullpen. He's having a really solid year. He's been pitching really well lately. Taking a look at the numbers overall, the ERA and the FIP, they don't look amazing, but the guy's got a big fastball. That's going to really play well in the Angels bullpen. 11 strikeouts per 9. The guy is walking a lot more this year, but I think that is by design. I think he's just going for more strikeouts now because he has the big fastball. He's averaging 98 miles an hour on the fastball. So, and what I do like is his xFIP is a 4.15. So I also believe he is more of a fly ball pitcher. So let me actually go look at the batted ball. What do we got? So fly ball. Yeah, so his fly balls are actually up. So this is actually really perfect, right? So last year he had a 39.3 fly ball percentage, and this year it's at 44.7. So I think this is a really good trade for the Angels. I think this makes a lot of sense. Now, let's talk about the pieces that they had to send back, right? You had to give up a lot. And now I'm wondering this. Now I'm asking myself this question. Is this what teams are going to have to do to get starting pitching? I don't know. I don't know if this is the Angels just being crazy, or is this actually what the market is going to be like? I do think I am leaning maybe a little bit of both. I think the Angels, once they decide, they must have had some kind of a meeting or something today. They must have sat down and they said, all right, what are we doing here with Ohtani? The reports were that they were looking at different trades. They were getting some interest from teams. We saw the Orioles and the Diamondbacks. We had seen some other teams come into the mix according to the reports, like teams like the Yankees and the Rays even popped up. I believe the Rangers even popped up. So to me, they must have been getting people kicking the tires. They must have been floating around some different ideas. And they probably just thought, you know what? We're probably not going to get a package really worth it for Ohtani. I'm sure there were definitely some players maybe being floated their way. And the Angels probably just thought, you know what? It's probably just more worth it to hang on to him and just push for the playoffs. Because you got to remember here, you got all of August, you got all of September. So it's not like, the season's ending in 2 weeks. You have 2 more months here. So the Angels probably just thought, hey, you might as well just keep him. And because if you keep Ohtani, here's the thing. If you keep Ohtani and then you make a push for that playoff spot, I mean, this is really going to show Ohtani, this is going to give him good vibes, right? Okay, hey, they're making moves. And I just said in the video that I posted an hour ago, I said the Angels, if they're going to keep Ohtani, they better go out and make some moves. And not just little rinky-dink moves, not like little under-the-radar kind of moves. You better go make some big acquisitions. And this is exactly what they did. If you're going to make that call for Ohtani, you better go out there and put your best foot forward. And that's exactly what they did here. That's exactly what they needed to do. And they did have to pay a price here. Cuero, he may have been struggling this year, but this is a guy that is regarded as one of the better catching prospects in the game. When you look at the average this year, it is low at a 245. The slugging is low, but he's got a 385 on base, so that's pretty decent. But overall, though, you are looking at some pretty meh kind of numbers. He is far away. The White Sox don't have a lot of catching depth in their system, so it makes sense for them to add a guy like this. So I would imagine Cuero's value is actually probably lower than his median value. If we actually go take a look here, let's go back to see what his low value is, or is the low point. So it has here 16.2. I would even imagine, just because of the numbers that he's putting up this year, I would imagine it could be even lower than this, maybe even around like a 10 to a 15. And then Bush, if we take a look at his numbers this year, he just got drafted recently, a couple of years ago. He was a second-round pick. And if you take a look at his numbers, the strikeouts look pretty good. But when you look at the ERA, when you look at the FIP, I don't know. They're not looking too exciting. He doesn't have a big fastball. He's going to be more of a finesse kind of a guy. He's got a good slider. He's got a good curveball, but the fastball, he doesn't have a lot of velocity on it. So, when you're looking at this value, 9.8, and so if we go back down here, so you're looking at maybe as low as 7.9, but let's say, maybe it could even be around 5, right? And let's say Cuero, you're looking at maybe around maybe, 10 to 12, possibly. Let's say 12. So if you do 5 plus 12, that's 17. Giolito, you're going to have to overpay for him anyway. So maybe this trade is actually a lot closer than it might seem, than what the numbers are saying. Because, listen, when you got the trade deadline, values are going to shoot up. It's just how the market is. You got to, with the trade deadline, you have to go with the market, right? You can't let the market is gonna pretty much decide how you're gonna do things, right? If teams are looking for certain things, if prices are going up for players, you got to follow the market. At the end of the day, no team is gonna really dictate the market unless you got just like a player that everyone wants, right? But because there's such little availability of starting pitching out there, the demand is going to increase and it's going to go through the roof. And someone like Giolito, he's one of the bigger names out there. He's going to make his start every 5th day. He's going to give you a pretty decent start every day. And so, yeah, you're going to have to give up maybe some bigger names. So I am interested to see how other teams react to this. I do think it is a little bit of the Angels just being more aggressive, but I also think, too, the Angels just thought, you know what? We don't really need Cuero anyway because you got Logan O'Hoppe. That's your long-term guy. That's who you traded for last year. So Cuero really, to the White Sox, really had like no value to them. I mean, he has value, but to the White Sox, probably really not all that much, because what were you really going to do with him? I mean, sure, could you get him on track in the next couple of years? Yeah, you could, but do you really need to, or could you exert that energy somewhere else? That's how I see it. And then Bush is a guy, you know, they've added so much starting pitching into that organization over the last couple of years. You know, when you got a guy like Bush, this is a guy who has a really good slider. He's got good off-speed stuff. You know, so he has value in himself, so you could use him in a trade like this. So, you know, for the White Sox, you need to start building up this farm a little bit. You still have a core intact for, you know, the next couple of years here. The White Sox are going to be competing next year. So, yeah, Giolito, he's gone. But the White Sox, they still have a good group of talent there that you could go into the offseason, try and make some moves. And the White Sox could be back to competing next year. So, you know, because they can go out there and maybe make some moves in the offseason, you might as well just add some pieces now while you can. And this is only the beginning now. I wonder what else the White Sox are going to do. You saw Lance Lynn in the news today that, you know, maybe the Rays were getting close to a deal. Even the Dodgers, I saw, had maybe made a phone call about Lance Lynn. So look out for Lance Lynn as well. You know, Joe Kelly, the Dodgers also showing interest in Joe Kelly tonight. I saw that pop up. There's a lot that the White Sox have to do. They got a lot on the table here. So this is only the beginning. This was the big piece that they had. You know, if we go back to the White Sox here, go check out their payroll. Like I said, the White Sox, they have a core for next year. So, you know, they can make these moves and they're still going to be fine for the future as well. So what else do they got? You know, you got a few pieces here. Kelly is a guy that I think is going to be on the move at some point. I'm not sure about Tim Anderson. The year he's having is not great. Lance Lynn is definitely going to get moved. Liam Hendricks, I feel like, is going to end up staying. Cannon Middleton is the other guy to look out for. You know, Reynaldo Lopez, he just got packaged. But now wait for Cannon Middleton. I'm also seeing a lot of people saying Dylan Cease. Listen, I could be very wrong, okay? Like, I was right about Lucas Giolito tonight, but I am wrong just as much as I am right. Dylan Cease, I'm going to say this right now, he's not going anywhere. Like, I don't see why the White Sox would trade him unless a team just blew them away. But teams, while they are aggressive to go get starting pitching, teams also want to hang on to their guys. They want to hang on to their prospects. I don't see a team out there shelling out a ton for Dylan Cease because the White Sox want to keep him. They want to stay competitive next year. They still got a lot of good guys in here. You got Luis Robert. You know, you got Dylan Cease. Like, Luis Robert is the guy you build around in your offense, and Dylan Cease is the guy you build around in your rotation. I don't see the White Sox trading Dylan Cease. So, in the end, obviously, Giolito is going to be a trade piece for them. This is a huge overpay according to the numbers as of right now, but remember, this is not the end-all, be-all. Baseball trade values is a wonderful tool. It's a good tool, but it is not the end-all, be-all. It's basically trying to do its best to find that middle ground. It's not going to be right all the time. It has a 94% approval rating when it comes to real-life trades on over 500 trades. But it's not going to get it right every time because teams are going to have different motivations. They're going to have different philosophies. The market is going to dictate things. So it is what it is. And I already see now people are going to start, you know, they're going to clown about the website even more. It's, again, the owner himself, John, he says it's not perfect. Like, it's never going to be perfect. And they're not trying to be perfect. They're just trying to help bridge the gap in terms of understanding how trades work. But this, when you see something like this in front of you as well, it also helps you understand why it was an overpay or how maybe you could adjust the values a little bit. So you can actually learn something from this as well. You can learn, like, hey, the Angels didn't even need, you know, Cuero. They can give him up. You know, Bush was expendable, right? So I'm not saying it's perfect, you know, just because it's not accepted. I'm already seeing all the haters coming out. Anyway, but I think it's a great move for the Angels. What do they do next here? Do they keep adding moves? Or do they keep adding players and making moves? I think it's possible. Honestly, I think if you're the Angels, you got to keep your foot on the pedal here. You know, you got Ohtani. And you're not trading Ohtani now, and now you just got Giolito, and you also got a bullpen piece. To me, I think you got to keep the pressure on. I think you got to keep going. And there was actually another report here, and I think that I don't remember who was it. John Morosi. 1 second here. Yes, here it is. Here it is. So, taking a look. So, John Morosi just tweeting about 40 minutes ago that the Angels have discussed a Jeimer Candelario trade with the Nationals in addition to their recently completed deal with the White Sox. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Go make the moves. Don't stop. You got to put together the best squad that you can for the second half of the year. You're keeping Ohtani now. Go make the best moves that you can. And if you want to keep Ohtani, you got to make the playoffs. If you're not making the playoffs, Ohtani's gone, right? And you're doing the best possible thing here. So I can completely understand where the Angels are coming from in this situation. So as for Jeimer Candelario, I mean, this would be, I mean, could you imagine? I mean, that makes me wonder here, is Anthony Rendon going to be out for quite a while now? He's got the bone bruise, and they actually just like saw that I think I read a report that there was like a lot of bleeding like in the bone or something like that. I'm like, what the heck? What is going on? Anthony Rendon, man, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about this, but this was a few days ago saying that Phil Nevin saying that Rendon's going to be shut down from baseball activities for at least 2 weeks after a deep bone bruise in his left shin. I mean, man, you know, this kind of makes me wonder, is he going to be out for a lot longer? And then, you know, Brandon Drury is going to be back eventually too. And then obviously you're going to get Mike Trout. But if you're looking at Jeimer Candelario, I mean, man, it just feels like the Angels have like 50 players on their roster right now. They got so many players. I mean, look how deep this bullpen is. Look how deep the rotation is. But Candelario, obviously you would be putting him at third base. Now, if I were to take a look at Candelario, has he played any other position this year besides third base? I feel like he can play third as well, or second as well. My memory is not helping me out right now. Let's take a look. So, Candelario. I feel like he has played second in the past. He might have even played first as well. He's only played third this year. But when it comes to different positions that he can play, so yeah, he's played first. That's where I'm wondering, or where I'm thinking. So he can play some first too. But getting back to the Angels, so it kind of just makes me wonder, is Rendon going to be missing a lot of time here if they're going after Candelario? So, but if he does come back, well, then you can have Candelario play first. So, you know, when I'm looking at other guys here, Urshela's gone. You're going to get Drury back. So that's what I would imagine. It's either Rendon's going to be out for a long time, or you would have Candelario play third, or maybe even Rendon could play, or Candelario could play first, and then Rendon play third, or maybe even Rendon could play first. I don't know. I would imagine Rendon would stay at third, but that's really interesting that they're even considering Candelario. I love it. I love it. Go get Candelario. Go get another bullpen piece. Hey man, the Angels right now, they're building some momentum, but they're gonna have to really start winning some games, and you know, only time will tell what's going to happen here. But in the end, I love this move. Yeah, it's a complete huge overpay on baseball trade values, but I understand why. Because again, one more time, if you are just joining us, Giolito heading to the Angels with Reynaldo Lopez. You are sending back a couple of highly ranked prospects. If we're actually to take a look here, Edgar Quero is number 2 on the Baseball America rankings for the Angels, while Kai Bush is number 4. So that makes me wonder here, you know, are teams going to be using that? Like, hey, well, hey, they had to give up a 2 and a 4, so you got to give us, your 2 and 4 too. I wonder how that's going to affect the market. I think it's going to be really interesting because you got guys like Marcus Stroman out there. Do the Cubs end up hanging on to Marcus Stroman? I don't know, because the Cubs are playing decent baseball lately. They've won 5 straight. They're 4.5 out. So what's going to happen here with Marcus Stroman and Cody Bellinger? This is really interesting, but hey, it's nice to see a domino fall here with Lucas Giolito. I think that's a great move for the Angels. Everyone, if you can, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. We just hit 32,000 subscribers tonight, so thank you for helping us get to that point. The next goal is to get to 40, so if you can help us get there, I will love you forever. But yeah, everyone, this is a great night here for the Angels. Finding out you're hanging on to Ohtani, then you get a starting pitcher and a bullpen guy. If you're an Angels fan, you got to be really revved up right now. I mean, you got to be feeling really good. The momentum, man, it's got to be through the roof right now. So the Angels, if we were to go to the Angels schedule, taking a look here. So, oh man, and you got the Tigers. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. So for the rest of this month, well, we only got a few more days left in the month. But, so today was rained out. So, man, Angels fans, you got a doubleheader tomorrow. You got Ohtani for the rest of the year. You got a new starting pitcher. You got a new bullpen guy. And now you got a doubleheader tomorrow. Oh, man, Angels fans, you're feeling really good right now. And then you got a 3-game set in Toronto. That's gonna be a big series for them. You got a good team here in the Blue Jays, and then you go to the Braves. Oof, that's how you're starting your August. But then you're back home for a little bit. Got the Astros and the Rangers. They got a tough schedule here. This is actually, and to be honest with you, I think this is great making this kind of move now because look at this schedule. This is a brutal schedule here for the Angels. You got the Braves, and then you got a division matchup with the Mariners. Then you got the Giants. Then you got the Astros and the Rangers on the road. Then you got the Rays. And then you got the Reds. Holy crap, what a schedule this is. And then you got the Mets. But then you got the Phillies. Oh, man. Will these moves even make a difference? Oh, my God. That is horrible. Look. That is a brutal schedule. Oh, man. I don't know. I was excited here for the Angels, but I don't know about this one. This is, oh man. Exactly. Dr. Slicknuts. Cruel and unusual. Oh my, this might be one of the worst schedules I've ever seen. Oh my goodness. Man. We got a super chat here from Dodgers, $1.99. Do you think Kelly to the Dodgers is good? I want Joe Kelly to come to the Red Sox. I need Joe Kelly Fight Club to come back to the Red Sox. We need that to happen, man. But yeah, the Dodgers, why not? Never hurts to add some bullpen. Hey, Joe Kelly back to the Dodgers. That'd be pretty fun. I think we had another super chat here earlier from Ben Lowry. How you doing? What would the Angels give up for Snell or a big bullpen arm? I mean, at this point, I don't even know what you give up for him because you just gave up this huge package. I mean, I don't know. What do you even do here? I mean, let's put together a trade. Let's see. I mean, I don't know if the Angels would go get Snell now, but I mean, they could go get, could you imagine they go get another starting pitcher? I don't think they will. You got a lot of starting pitching now. I could definitely see a bullpen guy. So like I suggested, Hader. It depends on what the Padres do. Going back to the standings, so the Padres, they're 6.5 out. I don't know. Is it worth the Padres to hang on to these guys and go for it? Or then again, try and get some prospects? I don't know, man. I would think, the Hader would be great. Hader, as of right now, on BTV, Hader's not going to carry a very high number here because he's a reliever. He's almost a free agency, so the number is not going to be big here, but I think the market, you're probably looking more around like 10 million like 10 to 15. I would honestly imagine that, considering, teams are always looking for bullpen help at the deadline. So I'm just saying, man. I mean, Hader, you're probably going to have to give up a little bit. If we were to go back to the Angels' top prospects here, let's go to Baseball America. Taking a look, go back to the Angels. So you just gave up your 2 and your 4. So for Hader, I mean, I'm guessing they're not giving up Bachman. Could you imagine you give up Ben Joyce for Hader, just straight up? I don't know. That'd be pretty interesting. Honestly, like, I wonder if something like that could end up happening. Because, like, if you were to give one guy for Hader, could you just do Hader for Joyce straight up? It actually would get approved by the simulator. I don't know if Angels fans would want to do that. I know you all love Ben Joyce, but if you were to do for a 1-for-1, I think that could be interesting. I don't know about that though. I mean, if you were to look at maybe some other guys here, let's take a look. You got Rada, who is your number 9. So maybe. Paris is your... So where was Paris again? Kyron Paris is your number 7. That's a shortstop prospect. I don't know if the Angels want to give him up. Maybe like Jose Soriano. Maybe you could do like Soriano, who's a 2.7. I don't know, though. I would imagine for Hader, the Padres will try and push for a little bit more. Maybe you could do like... remember Jordan Adams? We haven't heard of Jordan Adams in a while. Honestly, Jordan Adams is the kind of a guy that the Padres would like to have. When you look at just the tools that he has, the Padres tend to like those kind of tools, just those athletic guys. So I don't know. Could you maybe do that? What is Adams' value right now? Yeah, 1.5. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, actually, let's take out Joyce. Yeah, I don't think this is a good enough package. I don't know. I think you'd have, for Hader, I think you would have to give up something a little bit more than Soriano. So maybe if I take out, I don't know. I would also wonder if the Padres would want something close to Major League ready. I don't know. Maybe something like this value-wise. I don't know. I find Ben Joyce for Josh Hader to actually be pretty interesting. I don't know. So I just saw someone say Joe Adell in the chat. Joe Adell is 0 value. Could you imagine? Just throw in Joe Adell, says Michael Arona. What a deal. Adams, Adell, and Dana for Hader. Decent. But yeah, I think for Hader, you're gonna have to give up a little bit. I know the value there says 2.9, but I do think it's gonna have to be more than that. Let me just make sure we had any other super chats. If I missed a super chat, I apologize. We had a lot of people. Let me actually hold on. Let me go here. All messages. I don't know. Now the chat's not loading. So I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Steven Strong. Yeah, the reason Adell, you got to remember with Joe Adell, I mean, he has really lost a lot of value. Just because you do well in the minor leagues, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I think he has been obviously doing very good in the minors this year, but during his time in the major leagues, he hasn't shown anything. So that is going to decrease his value. When teams see how you perform in the major leagues and you don't perform well, it's the same thing with Bobby Dahlback. Same exact thing. Does well in the minor leagues, but when he gets to the major leagues, there's something off there. Like, it's just not translating. So when you get exposed like that, yeah, you're not going to have any value. So I completely see why someone like Joe Adell would have 0 value. Because he hasn't, when he shows it at the major league level, then yeah, absolutely. His value will shoot right back up, but he hasn't shown it in the major league. So yeah, I completely agree that he would be a 0. Again, he's been a higher prospect now for how long? He was drafted in 2017. It's 2023. I'm just saying, man. Like, how much time do you need? He came back up this year. Still not really doing anything. I mean, he has a really high slugging, but I don't know. He just hasn't really done it. He shows it in the minors. He needs to show it at the major league level. So I completely agree. I just think he has zero value right now. I don't think a team would really, I mean, maybe other teams would value him more. Again, this is just the middle ground, in my opinion. I think other teams could value Adele higher than this. I could see that. But, you know, maybe teams, maybe they see something with Adele that they could help get him back on track. So, but for me, I do agree that it's a zero value because he hasn't done anything. Sorry, you got to show something. So, anyway, but we got one from Ben Lowry. Ben Lowry, Angels need Barlow and power. I like the idea of Barlow. Honestly, add some more bullpen help here. I think that's what the Angels should do. And actually, I would like Barlow. I would like any team who gets Barlow because you're going to have him for next year as well. I like guys that you can get that are under control, right? So I think that would be a good addition. Honestly, why not? And Barlow's having a pretty solid year. CJ Cron, actually, so you're saying here with the offense, they need some power. So let's actually go to the numbers here. So where are the Angels when it comes to power? So just looking at home runs, where they rank this year. Well, the Angels are third in home runs, but obviously Trout is out right now. So maybe someone like CJ Cron could help. I don't know. If you're looking at just the slugging, I mean, they're fourth. I don't know. I don't think the Angels really need much offense right now. I think if you can get someone like Candelario, you know, like that could be an upgrade at first base. You know, I think that could be good. You know, or yeah, whatever. If you wanted to go get Cron too. I mean, let's actually see how Cron is doing. I feel like he's not putting up like amazing numbers this year. I could be wrong. Yeah, 255. He's got a good slugging. 299 on base, 480 slugging. But the WRC plus is really low. I would honestly, if you're the Angels, I would go after Candelario. Honestly, that's what I would do. Connor Pearson Ward, how you doing? Any thoughts on the Tim Anderson Blue Jays rumors? I didn't even know that was even in existence. There are Tim Anderson Blue Jays rumors. What are these? Oh, look at this. Tim Anderson to the Blue Jays. Why? Why would the Blue Jays want him? Am I missing something? I don't see why. Because you got, well, what do they have at second base right now? Well, yeah, actually, I feel like second base is somewhere they could upgrade. Well, no, you got Whit Merrifield. Why would they want Tim Anderson? You got Bichette, Merrifield. Unless they wanted something for the backup. I don't know why you would want Tim Anderson. I don't see. So who said this? John Morosi? I don't know. Yeah, it says right here, understandably, there will be people who question why the Blue Jays would target someone like him. Maybe for the clubhouse. I don't know. Like maybe they just want to, like Tim Anderson. He's a competitive guy. You know that he's been known as more of like a clubhouse leader kind of a guy. I don't know. Well, actually, if you take a look here, the numbers have been better with Tim Anderson. So let me actually pull him up here. I don't see where he fits though. I mean, Merrifield's having a good year. What else we got here? Ben Lowry again. What would a package for India be? Reds need arms. So that'd be interesting. Where would India end up going? But taking a look real quick before I move on to that. So looking at the splits with Anderson. Remember, he was just like not doing anything this year. But if you take a look, month of July, he has heated up. And again, since the All-Star break. So let's look at the second half. In 10 games in the second half, he's hitting 366. He's got 4 RBIs. So, yeah, he's definitely hitting much better in the second half so far. So, and he was actually showing, well, I'm not sure what he was doing in the first few games of July, but he's definitely been better since the All-Star break. I just don't see why the Blue Jays would really want him unless they want it. Like, I don't know, maybe they, I don't know, maybe just a different look or something. I don't know. So back to the Blue Jays. I don't know. I mean, Merrifield has been a little cold lately, but he's still having a pretty good year. The one thing with Merrifield is he can move around a little bit, but he had a really good game the other day. He went 4 for 5. Yeah, Merrifield's having quite the year. I feel like Merrifield is having a really underrated year, hitting 297 with a 349 on base. So, I don't know. Am I missing something? I don't know. I feel like Tim Anderson, now that I've seen that Tim Anderson is actually hitting a lot better, I didn't realize that. I definitely think the market for him can definitely pick up. So, but getting to the India super chat, what would a package for India be? So yeah, India, you're going to be looking at around, I believe his median value is at around 17 million. But he hasn't been like amazing this year. But the one thing with India, he has the Rookie of the Year from a couple of years ago. He's a young player. He has control. You know, he's not having a bad year by any means, but he's not going to be like a game changer sort of guy. But also, one other thing that I like about India, he's a good clubhouse guy. He seems to be just a guy that a lot of guys like to play with. So I wonder if a team will value that, maybe. But for the Reds, if they could use him to get some starting pitching, you know, could maybe the Mariners be interested? The Mariners, maybe you could put together a package with like India and maybe something else, maybe to get like Bryce Miller or like a Brian Wu. I could see something like that, maybe. So yeah, I'm seeing you in the chat. Chris Straub, you could do Whit Merrifield to the outfield, right? Because he can play some outfield, and Anderson could be at second base. Yeah, I could see maybe that line of thinking. So if you move Whit Merrifield to the outfield, I mean, I don't know though. Like, I would imagine they would probably, you'd probably do like a platoon of Merrifield and Varsho maybe in left field, because Varsho has been having a pretty down year offensively. When it comes to Merrifield, how does he do? Does he do better against lefties? Let's see. So yeah, he hits lefties well, but he's also hitting righties well. So I don't see why you would want to put Merrifield in a platoon. But I mean, Merrifield, the one thing about him is you can find at bats for him because he can move around. So I could see that. Why not? Why not? Michael Lenz, how you doing? $1.99. Will the Rockies? Will any Rockies be moved before the deadline? Yeah, I think so. I mean, you already moved Pierce Johnson, so that's one guy. Maybe CJ Cron. We were just talking about him, but I don't know. His WRC plus is pretty low. I mean, when you're looking at relievers, I mean, could Daniel Bard go somewhere? Brent Suter, I think, is an under the radar guy. Soft tosser kind of a guy, but he's extremely difficult to pick up. I honestly could see Chaim Bloom, like an analytical guy, like picking up someone like Brent Suter, maybe. You know, you got a couple of bullpen guys here, maybe Justin Lawrence. That's a possibility. I don't know. I would imagine they probably want to hang on to him. Honestly, like, I don't know. Ryan McMahon, I don't know. Maybe, probably not. You got Elias Diaz, too. Could you move him somewhere? He's having a decent year. Randall Grichuk, of course. Yeah, I would think he could definitely go somewhere. He's a good outfielder that can help you out. So, yeah, I definitely think you're going to see a couple of Rockies be on the move. So, you already moved Pierce Johnson. So, Ben Lowry. Sox finally go for Snell or Montgomery Donovan from the Cardinals. Oh, if the Red Sox, if they got Blake Snell, oh, I would be stoked. I would do freaking cartwheels on my front lawn. Oh my God. That'd be amazing if you got Blake Snell. I would love Montgomery. I would love for the Red Sox to get some cost-controlled starting pitching. I think that's what their goal is. knowing Bloom, he's going to get very creative. He's going to be finding diamonds in the rough. That guy is going to turn over every log and see if he can find something. So, obvious names. I'm not really banking on. Bloom tends to really go for the guys that you're not thinking of. So, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I would not mind any of those guys. Taylor, how you doing? $2 super chat. Odds you think the Cubs keep Stroman and Belly? I mean, it's getting really interesting now, right? Because, I mean, I just mentioned this earlier. They're 4.5 out of a wild card. And if we look at the division, they're 6 out. So they're closer for a wild card. But they've won 5 straight. They're 7-3. I don't think it's a slam dunk that Stroman goes anywhere. Stroman, I mean, this guy wants to stay with the Cubs. He's literally come out and said that. I'm not convinced the Cubs trade Stroman or Bellinger. I'm just saying. So, I don't know. Right now, Taylor, man, I'm at a straight 50%. Like, I think it really depends here what happens in the next couple of days. So, but, Dulcimera, Seth Lugo, I agree. I think Seth Lugo could be a guy. Look out for him. I actually came up with a couple of trades on baseball trade values for Seth Lugo. So, yeah, I definitely think look out for him. So, for the Red Sox, I could see them going after someone like that. Someone that has another year of control. I think that makes a lot of sense. So, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I'm getting pretty tired now. But we talked about Lucas Giolito tonight. Wow. I was not expecting this tonight. I was about to cuddle up with my pillow and go to sleep. And here we are. We are live. So, we had almost 1,000 people in the chat tonight. Hey. Big night. Big night for the Angels. If you're an Angels fan, you got to be super stoked right now. Adding a starting pitcher like Lucas Giolito, that's got to get you revved up. You're keeping Ohtani, though. Honestly, is that the bigger news tonight, that you're keeping Ohtani? I think that actually arguably is the bigger news. So, but everyone, before I get out of here, don't forget we are partners here now with Underdog Fantasy. Click the link in the description down below. Go try out all the different daily fantasy games that they have. You can do over-unders by playing pick'ems. And again, you got daily drafts. Go check it out. The link is in the description. Use the code HIDE and you get your first deposit doubled. Everyone, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for stopping by on your Wednesday evening, wherever you may be, or your early Thursday morning, wherever you may be. Have a good day, everyone. We will be live tomorrow night. John Bitzer and I will once again be talking some trades tomorrow night, so be on the lookout for that stream. That'll probably be live tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So, everyone, have yourself a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.